all things covered. Yes, sir, we're on the road coming to you from Latrobe, PA, one of the best places to be around this time. Training campsite for the Pittsburgh Steelers, joined by no other future Hall of Famer. We're going to throw that out right now. Coach Mike T, how you doing? How you feeling?
Man, I am glad to be here. You know me, I don't have a lot of hobbies, and so it's just good. It's a great time of year and good to be in this environment.
Yeah, and first and foremost, Coach, let's say over a decade or so ago, I was talking about my cousin Pat P, talking about what he was doing in high school, Pompano Beach, Florida, sharing the ins and outs with you. But what is it like to have him now be a part of your organization and coaching him daily?
Man, I hate to say it because he's standing right here.
Yep.
But, man, the realities of him day to day has been better than what I anticipate. Forget his playmaking ability and tangible things. We all know that. Not only the totality of his resume, but what he's done recently. It was fun to watch that free agent tape from last year, and I'm excited about having him. But the intangible things that he brings, man, you know, the professionalism, the approach to work, the versatility. It's just cool when you got a guy like Minka that's done what he's done, but he's excited about he gets the opportunity to play with Pat P.
Yeah.
And so we value that, the intangible component, and it's just been a really good experience for us thus far.
Yes, sir.
And, Coach, it's been such a pleasure to be here with not only you, but with the coaching staff and the other players. With this being my first go-around here in Latrobe, why do you run camp the way you run camp? Because this is probably the most anticipated camp, the most energy I've ever been a part of in the football in the summer camp. Why do you run your camp that way?
It's going to be crazy to hear me say it in this way, but for me, I want to create an environment where everybody gets an opportunity to live out their dreams, man. We got 90 trying to get to 53, and so every day I get out of bed, I'm trying to figure out what environment I can create to give every man a legitimate shot. And so it has to be competition-based.
Yes.
It has to be challenging. We got to mean what we say when we say we don't care about what means you get here. And so, man, you better be really intentional and thoughtful about the environment that you create and opportunities that you create for people. And I just think in doing so, we've created a different and challenging and fun camp to be a part of. I think it creates gas and energy. I think also, though, once we get here, every man understands what I mean when I say everybody's got a legitimate chance.
Yeah.
True story.
And, Coach, at least once every episode that we do, I reference a Mike Tomlinism, right?
Yeah.
And you talked about creating an environment for the guys here. If you can break down maybe your 3 best Mike Tomlinisms in regards to talking to your coaches or talking to your players, what would be your top 3 since you've been here?
I'd probably say number one, for practical purposes, is the secret is there's no secret. I think we're all looking for shortcuts, a winning edge, and so forth. And I always want to impress upon the rest of the staff and the players themselves that this is a process that we're going through. And although we're looking for the winning edge, shortcuts aren't one of them.
No question. So the secret is there's no secret.
There's no secret.
There's no
That's
secret.
number 2.
Tedious repetition of routine actions make us great. And why is that? I'm just trying to find an artful way of capturing their attention to say, man, you got to come ready for the work every day. And so tedious repetition of routine actions. Guys will be like, Coach, what'd you say? tedious repetition of routine action.
Yep.
The bottom line is there's certain things that we're going to do every day, and it might not be interesting, but it's very necessary. And so I want to sell that.
Yep.
The building blocks of our football, of our skill development. Man, if you're a DB, man, it's backwards movement. If it's a wide out, it's the catching of the ball, et cetera, et cetera. That's something that I want to just keep in the front of their minds, particularly during this component of the process.
And the third one?
The third one, man, there's a lot, man. I think, but give me a minute. Give me a minute.
I'll give him one of my favorites.
Yeah, and you just got here. So
I did just get.
What you got?
Routine. What is it? Routine.
Routine plays routinely.
Yes.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Routine plays routinely.
That's a good one. The reason why I talk about making routine plays routinely, because oftentimes when people think about professional football, they think about the spectacular. They think about that catch that Pickens made yesterday. But those of us that's been in this thing, we know that true professionalism is making the ordinary plays on a regular basis. That like clockwork, things that we can depend on. You know, Hines Ward on an option route on 3rd down and 4, first down. Routine plays routinely are the things that we value, and so that's a catchphrase that I use to impress that upon young players that might think the spectacular is what's going to capture our attention.
And one of my best ones, of course, the standard is the standard. You know, we got 2 dogs, 1 bone.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
He wore that shirt the other day.
Yeah, 2 dogs, 1 bone. And, of course, the boy got to die so the man can live.
The boy got to die so the man can live.
So, Coach T, man, he, if you want to get motivated, just turn on a few clips of him talking to the guys and we'll definitely get you motivated.
No doubt about it. And, Coach, with me being in those team meeting rooms, you always talk about the team you assemble. How do you feel about your rookie class this season?
Man, I am really excited with what I've seen thus far. No one's intimidated by the environment, and so that's encouraging. They've all come in with an acceptable level of conditioning, and I think if you check those 2 boxes, that's when their talents show. The minute they can get down to being themselves and not evaluating the environment they're in, we get a chance to know them. If they're in shape, then we get to know what their pedigree really is, as opposed to components of their pedigree, because fatigue's a factor. And so those are things that I'm really interested in. I want to expose them to enough of what we do in the spring process so that they're not wondering. And so we get to know them, and I want to impress upon them how important conditioning is so that they can take advantage of the reps that we give them.
Coach, thank you for joining me.
Yes, sir.
Great camp to you and the guys.
Great to be with you.
Yes,
no
sir.
doubt.
Yes, sir.